Okay. 83, 87, 81. Okay, it's I think we're going to call it right there. About 18. Still calling over 1900s now. Okay. So. One vacuum on top. See, look at the hydrocarbons drop down, back up. Yeah. What's going to surprise you?
Engine sounds a lot different automatically. You hear that? The engine.
Yes, it does sound good. Now let's see what happens here. But it shows just a couple of leaks. It's already dropping dramatically. It kept climbing before we did the vacuum lines. Because I stopped it before it was, what, 3,000.
Yeah.
I just said, you know, that's enough. So now it's down, the low end is down, now it's down to 1300s. It's definitely a lot lower than it was before last.
Oh, you're going into the 60% range there.
It's just, it'll continue to drop for a few minutes, it just will. Now, they say that's because the catalytic
Well, the catalytic converter is also normally clogged with all the carbons. So you have to get out of all them carbons also, and the catalytic converter is still cooking. So
now it's down to the 11s.
Yeah, it's going down. The nitrogen's come up.
It's down from 8. That's good. That means it's more efficient burn.
Yeah, it is burning the oxygen.
And so look where we're at now. Under 1,000 on the hydrocarbons. So we're just letting it run, and the computer's learning as it's running.
So explain what that's doing, Ron.
Well, what the machine's doing, or what's happening in the engine right now?
So what the machine's reading.
Well, what the machine is reading is the contents in parts per million is all in ratios, either percentages or parts per million. It's all about the ratio of all the compounds together. Now, as the Benjamin Groove begins to take its effect on the engine, the computer starts relearning and retabulating its fuel delivery. And the most interesting figure to me is the presence of hydrocarbons in the exhaust, which is this top number here. It's now in the maximum of 650 range. Before, it was in the maximum of 31, 3200 range. So as the engine's running, what's happening is now the temperature's gone up in the catalytic converter, but it's burning off, instead of raw fuel, it's burning off the hydrocarbons that are built up in the catalytic converter. So that's, I just saw this is dropping back down again. It was at 9, now it's 7 and 6. Okay, so this is showing that the temperature is dropping in the exhaust. as this number drops, so does the temperature of the exhaust. Because oxides of nitrogen are created by two factors: temperature and heat. Temperature and duration of burn. So the longer it's at a certain temperature, the more oxides of nitrogen are created. Now, next to this, we have the oxygen content. Now, that is supposed to be staying about the same, and so far, that's what I'm saying. It varies a little bit. It's down a little bit lower than it was. It was like 47 before. Now it's at 40, 41, 42. The same thing happened with Dave's truck a little while ago. And the air-fuel ratio even indicated a little bit leaner of a mixture, but that was because the relative amount of oxygen to the hydrocarbons had changed. On here is the carbon dioxide. I don't remember what the numbers were before. This is down a little bit. The carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, I think they're both down a little bit. And if you look here, now this has gone down from 40s down to reading into the 30s too. Okay. So that's a good sign that the engine is becoming more and more efficient. Now here we have the numbers on this was just down in the low 400s.
It stayed there for a second, hasn't it?
Until I looked at it. Once I looked at it, I said, Well, see, look, now the highs are looking to be around 580, whereas before they were at the highs of 3200s. Now, less hydrocarbons coming out your tailpipe means only one thing: a much more efficient burn. We're down to 319 parts per million, now 119 parts per million on the hydrocarbons. You see?
Wow.
Okay, from previous high of 3,200.
Your truck then like, well, maybe it's just new fuel for him, you know.
So
maybe there's something odd about it.
Right. Well, previous high 3,200. Now the high is 200.
I know. Well, I mean,
That drops. That's dropped the hydrocarbon emissions by geez, what, 95%?
Yeah.
Reduction, and it's still going down.
That's like a 98%. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying it's burning off the stuff that was left in the catalytic converter. That's part of what's going on.
And the engine is learning it doesn't need as much fuel, so it's
Right.
reducing the pulse width time and time again. Now, the newer the vehicle, the larger the fuel trim tables, right? And it varies from
Oh, that's
manufacturer
what we
to
were going to get
manufacturer.
into, fuel. Yeah, I don't know about fuel trim.
So the fuel trim tables are telling the computer how much fuel to deliver based on the conditions that happen after combustion, like NOx sensors and things like that.
Right.
So I'll take from 3116 down to
3,116.
Yeah, from 3,000.
I mean, it went from 3,116 as a high, and that is a 0 right now.
Yeah, zoom in on one of the other highs. Just so that
The high right there is 1202. Or the 1280.
Yes, we zeroed before we got started on it.
Right. Now it's 1.58. The CO2 is a high of a 31. Now it's 26, 27. Nitrogen content was 12. And now we're 1, 2. And the oxygen content used to be around 2090. Almost 21% oxygen content. And we're down to 0.41. Wow.
I'm pretty sure I thought it was because I can see that.
Fuel rate mixture is still going up or leaning out. 50.
that's two vehicles per group right there now.
Yeah.
Back to back. How many times did you go and do that? Which is the same every time I've done it.
So what do you say to that, Ron?
Sir?
So what do you say to that?
I said, get your groove on, boys and girls. Catch me in groove. New way of fuel efficiency technologies.
This is one way of proving it.
And we have to prove it.